Good morning. This is my first episode of the Boo Reviews. That does not mean that they are bad reviews. It's just my name is Boo and they are reviews. So it's the Boo Reviews. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to refer to my phone quite a bit because I have no idea what I've set for myself in this. I'm pretty sure I made it as a playlist, so that'll be cool for you to listen back to. The song is called Stargazer by Kazutoshi. Kazutoshi? I don't really know if I'm saying that right, but hopefully I am. So just going off like the first minute and 10 seconds, my favourite thing is the hits on the ride and the crash, along with the like piano. I'm a pianist, so for me, when piano is like the core of what the song is, the sound, the composition, you can tell when something is like composed on piano. And yeah, I mean, I just think it's beautiful. For me, this is exactly the kind of music that I play and inspire, and I'm inspired to write. So I'll give you a little bit of history on the guy. He was born in Hiroshima in 1999, so that would make him 3 years younger than I am. Figure that out. And he started to play the piano when he was 5 years old. Of course he did. When he was the age of 13, he started to write music while he listened to jazz, rock, and so on. In 2016, Kazutoshi won Best Composition and Arrangement Award at the Psycho Summer Jazz Camp in 2016. And then in 2020 and 2021, Kazutoshi was on Fuji Rock Festival 2020 and 2021. Basically, this guy is well acclaimed. And you can tell just by the way that he is writing and composing. So yeah, I'm definitely well into the sound and style. I love how the mood shifts very, very slightly. So you've got this like original motif that is like something like that, but there's like a landing chord about a minute in. I don't have like a perfect pitch, but I can tell you that I know it's moody. So there's like a moody chord that he lands on about a minute in, and then he does it again, and it's like, yeah, and then he brings back the original motif. So yeah, beautiful. Chef's kiss. We'll have a little scroll through and find any other bits that we really like. About 2 minutes and 20 seconds in, we start on like a something like that up there, and then it is like this incredible, beautiful, solo-y cacophony of madness, but so well executed, and you can feel what he's feeling. So, you know, you might think I sound like an absolute idiot saying that, but I feel it, so I'm gonna say that. So yeah, totally like well accomplished, beautiful piece of music. The whole composition is about 7.5 minutes. It's very much my understanding of contemporary jazz, how I perceive piano composition to be right now, and it's like this beautiful hybrid between classical and jazz that just, and then obviously like whether you see this or not, but I see it as kind of like this acoustic dance music, because if you look at bands like Go-Go Penguin or Mammal Hands, they have this similar concept of like this driving drum beat underneath beautiful melodic and time signatures and stuff, like beautiful melodies and different time signatures. But yeah, from a production base, I would have to say that the clarity of the piano and the drums together is phenomenal. I love when drums are set back behind the keys or behind the instrumentation that is in the song, and you can really like hear crystal clear like the whole kit. It's really soft, but it's there, it's punching through, but it's not too much, but it really adds like exactly what it needs to add. So yeah, if I was to give it out of 10, I would probably say a solid 8.6 if I was to give it out of a 97. No, I'm joking. But yeah, out of 10, I would say this is probably a solid 8.6. So well done, Kazutoshi. Next on the list, we have Stanza by The Apartment. And just to give you a little bit of context, stanza, if you recognize the word, is a group of lines forming the basic recurring metrical unit in a poem, a verse. So it's technically a verse within a poem. So essentially, if I think this is going to be what I think it is, I click on The Apartment, I'll have a look at their... So this is a single that was dropped this year. The latest release I haven't listened to yet, so we'll just talk about the stanza. But this was a release that was dropped this year. That suggests that there's going to be more within that project, in my opinion. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But the concept of a verse within a poem suggests that there's going to be more of the poem, if you're looking at it from the perspective that the album or the EP is the poem and the single is the verse, if that makes any sense. So, a little context of The Apartment. Slightly larger than Kazutoshi. They have 23,171 monthly listeners. Kazutoshi has 7,126 or something. The apartment is what remains when everything else is moving. A friendship that crossed an ocean, the years, and a shared obsession with sounds. 10 years ago, Flo left for California. Charles stayed in Paris. We could have left the music behind, but we didn't. We wrote to each other through samples, abandoned projects, and blown out iPhone memos. So, obviously, there's more about this, but what is really beautiful is this like combination of modern technology, the ability to be able to write music with each other whilst not actually physically being with each other, and having such a beautiful conversation within that. So, if we have a little listen. Okay, so 55 seconds in is when the song is going to... Sorry, there's stuff going on outside. 55 seconds in is when the piece is going to start coming together as a whole. But we come in with this like almost like singing bowl, like harmony frequency thing going on. So it's like... and it's like really brings you into the piece. And then we start off with what I couldn't decide was like whether it's flute or like clarinet or something like that. But yeah, there's like this weird... No, it's not weird, but like I couldn't decide what it was. I still can't decide. I probably should do the research. But anyway, yeah, so you hear this like... And then you start to hear the guitar coming in as well. And then there's this like beautiful call and response between the two instruments. And it gives you a good indication. I mean, it could be that it's only one person playing those things, but it gives you a good indication that it's potentially the duo that are like talking to each other, which I think is really, really lovely and just heartwarming. So let's carry on a little bit more. We've got 55 seconds in. Okay, so going in from there, it sounds like sax. So what is really beautiful is the guitar kind of like laying the harmonic bed, and then the sax is then adding and building on top of that. So it just kind of creates this movement that is just so gorgeous. I mean, the drums are obviously beautiful as well, but it's not really something that I'm completely paying attention to in this recording. I mean, they are gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but I'm very much interested in the melodic concept and what's going to be developing. So a minute and a half in, just before that or something, the bass brings it together, and it just kind of sets the tune from being like this build, this soft build, to a crash of a wave of just like bedrock, and you just hit into this, like, you know, like there's no words to explain that, but it is, they literally build you and then softly drop you, and you just land so comfortably in this little comfy bass line. It's just, yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with it. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's a really beautiful composition. We'll have a little bit longer, and then I will give it my rating. Okay, so again, we have this, I don't know if you can hear it as well, but for me, we have this like little inkling of dance again. It's that repetition, the ba-da-bum, the ba-da-bum in the sax, and that for me is so driving. I just want to listen to more, if that makes any sense. I love when a motif isn't overused, but is used to a point where you can sing it and recognize it in your head and you want to hear it again. So yeah, I mean, top notch. I would honestly, I'd probably give this one a little bit less than Stargazer. I would probably say this is a 7.6. I'm not going to give you any sort of scale to why I'm measuring it this rate. This is just how it feels in my mind. So yeah, 7.6, Stanza, The Apartment. And the final on the list. So what I've decided to do as a structure for this series is we're going to have 2 songs that I've found with relatively low monthly listeners. When I say low, I mean less than 500,000 or something, but that don't hold me to that. That might change, who knows. And then the final one will be someone that I've found within either the local scene to me or basically across the UK, like a UK artist that I believe needs some recognition or a little listen, you know? So my final song for the series today is Way Down by Daisy Cameron. She is, or they are, I'm not sure their pronouns, a Manchester artist, I believe, because they are in a couple of the group chats that I am in, hosted by Rory A. Green, but we will discuss that at another time. Here we go. So straight off the bat, what we hear is, from what I think I can hear, is a 6/4 time signature. So we've got this like kind of rigid but cool little swing situation going on, and then we've got the guitar that comes in and it really brings in that like typical element of Six, where it's just like this, da, da, da. Just a really lovely lilt, really nice little juxtaposition between the two as well. So top notch so far.
Look, there is a man scraping all he can with the same cloud hanging over his head.
All right. So, I mean, I don't even need to listen to another second before I tell you that this kind of vocal is exactly what I think is missing in a lot of pop music right now. It's this percussive, melodic thing that is typically found in Latin America, where we follow, or the vocalist follows the melody of whatever instrument is going on. So currently that is to the bass line, and it's the rhythm of, so it's like da 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 da, and it's very percussive, like I said before. But her ability to be able to switch between her normal register and then go high and then come back down again within the phrase is phenomenal. So yeah, well done, Daisy. Absolutely beautiful melody writing. And then within the lyrics, you know, I haven't been able to talk about lyrics within the other two songs because they're instrumental. This one has lyrics, and so far the metaphor is beautiful. I think there's 2 lines in and I'm like, yeah, this is sick. You know, we have an understanding that we have a narrative of this guy who has the same situation going on again. So whether Daisy writes like how I write, I can see that might be a perception of not only somebody else, but maybe herself as well. So really beautiful writing. Let's have a little bit more.
Momentary bliss doesn't give a shit if the resemblance is impossible to miss. What I don't see is alright with me. What the hell are those? You're wearing someone's clothes at the same time they're hanging out to dry. Shut up about your plan to turn me and my man into you when you don't even have a clue.
Okay, so I have no context of what this song is about, but from what I can tell, there is someone that we have a problem with. And I love a little sassy moment where you address a situation, but it's not a diss track. It's just like, you know, speaking the truth. So love this. Again, the little harmonies in the background, beautiful, really angelic, not too much, just adds like a really gorgeous texture. I mean, yeah, I'm just in. Let's keep going.
What I don't see is alright with me. Way down, scraping all the scraps from the same crowd, the same crowd. Way down, scraping all the scraps from the same crowd, the same crowd.
Okay, so love the little pre-chorus. The actual chorus is really interesting. I love a drop-down pre-chorus. A drop-down chorus. I love it when you think something's going to push and then it kind of comes down to this thing, and she really leans into it with the first line of way down, because there's like a drop of instrumentation and it's just like way down. And yeah, it's just, yeah, phenomenal. Really, really well written, really well constructed. The whole piece of music is 2 minutes and 58 seconds. I want to read you a bit more about Daisy, but the bio is loves to sing, which I completely rate because mine is something ridiculous too. So yeah, totally into it. I'm not sure about any gigs coming up of Daisy, but keep an eye out. Daisy Cameron, phenomenal artist. So that is going to conclude the Boo reviews. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I've never done this before. I've never done this kind of setup and this discussion. Hopefully you liked it. If you didn't, tell me why. But be nice and give me some good feedback on how you would like to see me do this again. Are there any pieces of music you'd like me to review? If there are, comment, and then depending on how well this does, I'll create like a separate thing, but we'll deal with that later. That's my problem, not yours. So yeah, thank you so much for getting through this and listening to my review, the Boo Review, episode 1.